All right, we got an interesting one. We're going to be watching ChrisGotHeat, who is going to be playing Symmetra. This is on Rialto, and it is Diamond 5 on PC. Low Diamond struggling to climb. Our defense was pretty alright, but we got really stagnant on attack and ended up losing. I feel like on attack our tank wasn't making space, so I had to do it for him and made some risky plays. Also, this Ana was hitting some great sleeps that usually never happen, so I died in the backline more than I liked. I like to play like Tracer, getting in and out, also off-angling and turning heads. I feel like we were stuck at the bridge because our tank wasn't applying enough pressure and should have been Nemesis punching the Sig to make them back up so we could walk up so I could try to TP behind to force an off angle, but I realized I died more than I should have, and this loss very well could have been my fault. I've been actively working on getting out of TPs with my life a lot more, but if there's anything else you think I should work on, please let me know. I'm all ears and ready to learn. So, for starters, I am not a Symmetra player. So, there's going to be some degree of like, is this the right advice? Uncertainty here that doesn't necessarily happen with my other videos. That being said, I still feel pretty comfortable, like confident that I know kind of what your core problems are here. So before we go into your specific, areas of improvement, let's talk about the three general ways of playing Symmetra. Right? And this is somewhat for your benefit. I think you already know these, but for other people who are watching. Option number one, Brawl Symmetra. So that's the one where you're going to sit behind what is almost always a brawl tank, like someone like Reinhardt or Risa or whomever, and you're just going to beam down their front line. And the pros here are that you're going to build your damage really, really quickly, right? So it goes from 60 damage a second to 120 second to 180 damage a second, the beam, every 1 second that it's hitting a target. So you're going to build all the way up to 180 damage per second, and whoever is in front of you is going to die. For perspective, Zarya at 100 energy only does 170 damage per second. So Symmetra will reach that in 2 seconds of beaming people, and she suddenly becomes even more dangerous than a full charge Zarya. So whoever's in the front line, no matter what they are, no matter what their abilities, it's just gonna melt, right? The downside to this is you're very close to the front and you're easily exposed and you can die, which is why you need a tank in front of you who can create space and prevent you from getting focused down and killed. This is especially relevant if the enemy team has hit scans, like enemies that can easily hit you, as opposed to like more projectiles where you have like kind of some more time to dodge and maybe some options. Reinhardt shield's super effective here because he can just hold the shield down while you just beam people, etc. So that's kind of the brawl strategy, right? Which is just run it down main, go behind your tank, beam down whoever the front target is, probably their tank, but then their tank's gonna retreat because he's like, wow, what the heck? Symmetra's doing 180 damage a second, and then you beam the next person down, you beam the next person down, and then you win the fight. Option 2, poke Symmetra. So Symmetra's right click, her charged ultimate fire, does 50 damage on direct hit and then 50 damage on splash when you fully charge it. That's a lot of damage. That allows you to two-shot people at any range, right? Because there's no damage fall off, which is very surprising. It hurts a lot, and even if you miss them, if you still get the splash, it's still 50 damage, which is not nothing. So it's not like so fast firing, but like when you are catching them by surprise, you can usually hit the first one for free, and then they have to actively dodge the second one to avoid not dying. And if they've taken any other damage, it's possible you can just one-shot them. So that's the general idea of Symmetra, is like staying at range and then charging your right clicks and then just hitting them with it. Number 3, playstyle number 3 is dive Symmetra. And this is a situation where you put a teleporter, you go into their back line or high ground above them or whatever it is, and then you start beaming them down. And the good news here is you're not going to be the focus of attention because you're not going to teleport like in front of their team, right? Otherwise, why am I using teleport? I'm going to teleport to a flank, an off angle above them, something that they don't predict, they don't expect it. And then I'm going to start beaming down somebody squishy right away, and I'm going to kill them in like 2-ish seconds. It's even better if you charge your right click first, and you'll kill them even quicker. And then you can also bring your turrets along with the teleporter as well, which turrets each do 25 damage per second, so that's 75 damage a second from the turrets if you put it right next to somebody, plus your own beam, which does 60 damage, plus you could charge your right click, which would do 100 damage. You could do a lot of damage really, really quickly if you time it correctly. But there's a lot of setup here, right? I got to put the turrets down, I gotta put down the teleporter, I gotta charge the right click, then I gotta go through the teleporter, then I have to hit them with it. So, against certain heroes, it's effective, right? Heroes that don't have a lot, like Zenyatta, for example, has really nothing he can do about this. But somebody with splash damage, like Ana, could just throw a grenade down, like at her feet, which heals her, damages you, and destroys all your turrets instantly. So it's gonna vary, your impact against depending on what the heroes are. I would also note is that if you dive too much, they're going to actively look for it all the time, and it's going to dramatically reduce your impact. And that's what we're going to see in this game, is like at first it starts working, and then your impact falls off a cliff, and you're going to die basically every single time that you dive, because they're all looking for it. Like literally, like you're gonna put teleporter and like 4 people are just gonna be staring at it, waiting for you to come out. Okay, so we talked through the 3 play styles of Symmetra. And to be clear, I don't think the best way to play Symmetra is any one of those styles. I think the best way to play Symmetra is playing any of those styles or all of those styles, depending on what the situation is, right? It could be you play one style for the whole game. It could you play multiple styles in the whole game. You could play one style in this round, one style in this round. You could vary it in a fight, right? Going from this, swapping from this style to that style. It's all about making reads. I think Symmetra is very much a thinking person's DPS, right? There's not a ton of mechanical skill for Symmetra compared to a lot of other heroes that have much more complex things going on. I don't think her right click's particularly hard to land. Her beam is not particularly hard to land. So, and she doesn't have to be precise, like she has no headshots. So, I think that Symmetra is all about just the timing is like critical, right? Timing, game sense, positioning. That's really the kind of what separates Symmetra players from other players. Okay, so I've already seen this game. The overarching problem you have is that you're just going to die forcing fights all the time. Like, at a certain point, you're just going to die, like, basically nonstop every single time you enter combat because you're trying to, like, get into a bad position. And it's funny because you're saying things like, oh, I feel like the tank wasn't making space, blah, blah, blah. But when I was watching it from your perspective, I didn't watch your tank's perspective. I didn't feel like your tank was doing anything explicitly wrong. I felt that you were going way too fast. Right? You're like intentionally forcing really bad fights, especially when it became extremely clear to the opposing team like what your plan was. And so they would see you like setting up, and they would just wait for the teleporter, and then they would kill you. And the sleeps were not hard. Like the Ana was not sleeping you in the open; she was sleeping you after you come out of teleporter, which is like free. If you get the higher ranks, they're gonna hit this like 99% of the time. Hitting a sleep on you coming out of teleporter with like any ability is basically free. And I think you're not used to being punished there. And we're going to see that a few times where you're like, I think you're just not expecting that people can aim that well. And then you suddenly get melted and you're like, wait, what happened here? Sorry, drinking my tea. I'm going to try to keep the coughing under control. All right, so let's watch. So we're going to start here. We're going to play on the off angle. Again, you're on defense right now. And what I would do here, again, take everything I say with a grain of salt because I'm not a Symmetra player. What I would do here is I would just poke. Because I'm really not expecting to get any kills here. If I do get a kill, it doesn't really matter. There's spawns right here. Like it's a 10-second stagger. You know, if that, like honestly, the cart might just keep moving anyway because this is like a fairly strong offensive favored area. I'm just poking here to maybe get kills, farm bolt charge, you know, the regular. So we're chilling over here. You are clearly setting up for a teleport bomb, which is fine, right? Like this is your element of surprise. They don't know that your team has a Symmetra. If you want to pull this off first time, fine. So I see this, you're going for the bomb, you teleport in. The second you did this, I thought, this is crazy. Now, the very first time, yeah, you can get away with this. There are 4 heroes here. I would like to point out, the Widow, 5 heroes here, right? The Ana, if she sleeps you, you're dead. If the Roadhog hooks you, you're dead, right? If the Kiriko or Widow headshot you and you take any of the damage, you're dead. Like, the amount of time you have to survive here is roughly half a second to guarantee you will not die. Because that's about as much time as it would take for the Ana to activate Sleep Dart or the Roadhog to turn around and hook you. You're going to sit here, and you're going to go for a bit, and then you're going to get out. Now, you survived this. But let's think, what was the value here, right? You had to set up all your turrets, you used your teleporter, you did maybe like 150 dish damage, right? The Genji's like sort of low, and the Kiriko took some damage, like 150, maybe 200 damage total. Did you stop them from pushing? Right? Does this mean anything? Not really. Okay, now your Echo's in for some reason. I don't even know if you're trying to time this for your Echo. Maybe you're trying to time this for your Echo. If so, I think I would have let the Echo go first. But like, again, taking fights here is not a good idea because like the value, right? The upside and the downside. I think I'm trying to think of a different way to phrase this. Can I say this regularly? I think the upsides here are pretty low, and the downside here is extreme. Because the upside here is we get a kill or multiple kills or wipe everybody, right? That's the best. We wipe everybody here is the absolute upside. They respawn and they walk out and they cost them 10 seconds. That's okay. I mean, that obviously 10 seconds is better than no seconds, so sure, we'll take that. But if you die right now or your Echo dies, your team can't hold this, and they're going to push all the way to here for free. So, like, the upside here is very low versus the downside, which is very high. I'm not trying to force, like, if I'm playing as any hero here, like a tank, a DPS, a support. I don't want to be gambling this first fight because we're looking only at 2 fights here. Oh man, I forgot to do it back at that. All right. So we're looking at only 2 fights here that are going to happen on first point. Hello, pen. Yeah, load. There you go. Okay, great. Grab this guy, put it over here. So fight number 1 is going to happen over here, right? And then fight number 2 is going to happen over here, right? 1, 2. If anybody on our team dies, we skip this fight completely. I want to be taking this fight right here because this has the strongest defender's advantage. I don't want to be taking any dangerous fights which might result in me getting picked or anybody on your team getting picked out here. If you're a long-range poke hero and you have no risk of dying, yeah, go ahead and fight it. But again, if you get picked or the Echo gets picked, you're going to skip that whole fight completely, which is really bad, especially since you're such a strong defensive hero. All right, you get a pick here on the Widow, great. Your Echo is truly crazy. Somehow manages to get out. Looking for teleport bomb number 2. So, we're going for it. As a note here, like, you just saw the Widow die. The Widow just respawned. I seriously doubt that you knew the Widow switched back to Tracer. So the Widow could literally be coming out either one of these doors and just be scoped in right now. And then you would just teleport in front of her. I'm just noting here, right? So, good. Okay, you waited. But again, the Ana's still in the back. And you have to know the Ana's in the back because you've never seen the Ana cross this bridge. You go through. And what does the Ana do? Well, let's look, right? So she just scoped in here, doing her own thing. And she's looking for it right away. And she hits the sleep. This is not hard. Like, the way you framed it in your post is like, oh, Ana's hitting crazy sleeps. This is, like, trivially easy at, like, Diamond Plus. Like, I literally think Diamond hits 90% of these, Masters hits 95%, GM hits 99%. This is a terrible gamble. And now that you're slept, you should die here. There's, like, no real way that you should possibly live here. The reason you're going to live is because they're going to wake you early. But honestly, they could just ping here and let the Roadhog come get you. They could just destroy the teleporter and then you die here. Or the Kiriko could walk over here and just headshot you along with the Ana, right? And then a melee would kill you. But for some reason, like, they're going to mess up here. Okay, they're trying to do it. They're trying to kill the teleporter. Okay, great. They're doing a terrible job of killing the teleporter. Yeah, I think the Kiriko hit you there and then you're going to wake up. So they should have been attacking the teleporter nonstop and you're dead. But again, let's think about this. It's not always about outcomes. It's about what did we know at the moment that we did it. This was a terrible choice, right? To teleport in right now, what do I gain out of this? Okay? Like, let's imagine the Ana misses the sleep dart. Okay? Which I don't think will happen. But, like, let's imagine the Ana misses the sleep dart here. Do you think you kill the Ana right now? I think there's a 0% chance you kill the Ana. With aimbot tracking, I think there's no way you kill the Ana. Because Kiriko just turns and just heals her. And then you're never going to kill her in time. Right? And the Ana just grenades between you and her, and then you just go back to the teleporter. It's not going to do a whole lot, right? And if the Ana did actually get in any real danger, the Kiriko could just Suzu her. So, again, you had no kill potential here, but an extremely high chance of being killed, which means this is a terrible trade. And we're spending a lot of time talking about this is because this is going to happen over and over and over again where you're just taking really bad fights. Okay, so you've given up on the off angle, which is fine. I think that's the correct call, right? You need to be rotating back. Let's think about what's going on here right now. First of all, your Yara has died. How does your Yara die? She gets just burned down here. Not a whole lot you can do here, not your responsibility. I would hope your Mercy's going to try to go for the res here. Yeah, she does have res available. So, what's kind of my job here? Well, let's look at what the enemy lineup is. So the enemy lineup has 2 dive heroes that you're very strong against. These 2 heroes, if I were you, I'm thinking, how do I shut down those DPS? Because if I prevent those DPS from doing anything, we're going to win the game, right? If I prevent both Tracer and Genji, or even just one of them and provide any extra value, we're almost assuredly going to win the game. It's not really my job to deal with the Roadhog. Kiriko is almost impossible for me to kill. Ana's maybe, right? There's situationally sometimes I can kill her. But primarily, I want to be dealing with these 2. Now, why do I want to be killing these 2 heroes? Well, like, why am I good against them? Obviously, I have turrets. These heroes are constantly looking for angles to flank, right, and come after my backline. Well, turrets are really good against that. I can constantly be doing chip damage against them, which is really annoying for them because they can't get healed easily, and then they have to retreat. I don't have to kill them. I just have to prevent them from doing anything. These heroes have to get close to my backline to do anything. As long as I prevent them from moving up, we're good. Well, again, turrets are a big part of that. My right clicks, that's a big part of that too, right? Just constantly splashing them. My left clicks are also good. Less so against Tracer, really great against Genji because he can't deflect it, which means he either has to commit to trying to kill you straight up, or he has to run away. Again, any dash that he goes backwards is a win for me. Roadhog, again, not really my problem. Like, I can charge a beam off of him if I get a chance, but not strictly speaking like my job to deal with. So what I'm thinking right now is, okay, this Roadhog is here, the shield's put way too far forwards, the Roadhog's about to walk in here. I don't want to be here. I really do not want to be here. If the Roadhog hooks me, I die. I want to be playing somewhere over here, potentially, or potentially up here. This is a good spot too, right? I could put turrets over here, I could come up here, throw like one turret up to defend myself, and I could maybe beam people, go over here, have access to their backline, right? They're not looking at me, charge right click, bam, charge right click, bam, that's a pick. So I have some options as to where I can go. I don't really probably want to be playing this far back. Poke is not going to stop the Roadhog from advancing, so I probably want to be playing some sort of like off-angle space control in this situation. So this should be a kill on you, and it is. So why did this happen, right? We're walking over, and I see the Roadhog coming up, and I'm like, okay, great. So what I'm noting here is right now I think, am I hookable? I am, right? The Sigma is the only thing that will stop me from getting hooked right now. So I have two options, right? And the Sigma will not perfectly be in front of me because the Sigma's not going to know he has the body block for me. Option number one, I can continue using the Sigma to try to body block actively, right? Assuming he's going to throw a shield. Option two, I abort and try to go this way and get around the corner. Option three, actually, is to stay back here and wait for teleporter, but you got a good 4 seconds, which is not unreasonable. As soon as this shield goes out, I already realize this shield is bad. The Roadhog's going to walk to the shield. I know, because the Roadhog's full health, right? The Roadhog's full health, the team is in momentum, we're down a support. Like, the Roadhog's walking forwards, and he's looking for the hook, not on the Sigma, but on me. He wants me, because I'm squishy, and the Sigma is not. So as he comes up, I'm thinking, okay, I have to continually maintain the line here. I have to continually maintain the line here to stay alive. So, Roadhog is here, this is my Sigma, this is me. If the Roadhog wants to get me, I need to make sure that I stand here. That way, he can't possibly hit me, and it hits the Sigma instead. That is my only survival option here that guarantees my survival. Anything other than that is going to result in me dying. This only works to a certain extent, by the way, because of just angles, right? It's a longer distance for me to travel sideways than it's the Sigma. You can also get closer to Sigma, but just a general note, I'm thinking I need the Roadhog, the Sigma to body block for me right now. Is that what happens? Well, Sigma goes all the way to the right. I need to take the angle to close in on the Sigma to make sure that the Roadhog does not have this angle. Is that what happens? No, it is not, and as a result, I get stuck out in the open, and then I get hooked, and now I'm dead. So this is kind of like Roadhog 101, right? Like, this is, or anti-Roadhog 101, which is don't get hooked. If you get hooked by Roadhog, he's going to win the game. That's just straight up, like, the way Roadhog works is if he's hooking people out of position, he's going to win the game. This could have all been prevented if instead of spending so much time on the off angle, I could have teleported up high ground, where there's virtually no way the Roadhog's going to hook me. Like, he has no angle to hook me if I stay high ground. I just put turrets in here, totally safe, right? Constantly right-clicking, beaming the Roadhog down when he doesn't have hook, whatever ends up happening. That would have been perfectly safe. Playing out here in the open with no cover immediately put me in a grave danger. See how you go backwards? We just saw it right now. You went backwards right now instead of going this way, which would have made sure that the Sigma could have body blocked for you. Because the Sigma gets pulled, no problem. It's not going to result in Sigma dying. But you get hooked here, you're going to die. Right? Darts in, and then that's death. Oh, as a general note, you said, oh, like, you know, it felt a little bit like you're like, oh, hey, like, you know, feels like kind of like my tank's problem that we lost the game. But maybe it's me. From looking at your perspective, it feels like you were the problem, to be perfectly honest. Just because you were dying, like, non-stop. Like, you were dying, like, almost twice as often as I would expect you to be dying. Alright, so we come out here. I'm noting, really important, we have to be able to contest the objective, but we got plenty of time right now. Echo dies, unfortunate, right? Just chill a little bit. Yep. I would be careful about stepping up before you have a tank, just because if the Roadhog steps forward and hooks you, you're done though. So, let's think. Where do I want to go here? Do I want to be playing anywhere here? No. I get hooked, I die. Do I want to be playing here anywhere here? No. I get hooked, I die. Do I even play anywhere here? This is okay, right? Harder for him to land the hook because like more of my body is covered. This is like an okay position, but all I can do is fire right clicks from here, which is not great value when they're going to be capping. I want to be getting somewhat close to the point so I can contest with beam and go over the squishies. Well, one of the options here is teleport to high ground. Teleport to high ground and just right click the Ana. Whenever she tries to scope, I hit her with a right click and then she just, what can she do? Right? I step over here, I right click the Ana and I step back. Ana grenades herself. I step over here, right click her, step back. Ana's like, okay, now I'm stuck out in the open because like, what do I do? Where do I go? She runs for cover, you right click her one more time and she dies, right? Or Kiriko saves her, in which case fine. Then you keep right clicking her, right? Like that will just completely consume the two supports over here because they have no ability to force you off high ground unless they hit a very difficult high angle attack to be able to get you up here. So just going high ground here is super strong because the only person who can contest you here is Genji. Genji just died. Tracer can't go after you, right? The Kiriko could like maybe try to climb up the side here. I don't know how hard that would be to like maybe, but even at close range, like you could potentially win that, especially if you put turrets in here. You could definitely win that fight. I think that's your best option right now. What are you going to do instead? You're going to look for another teleport bomb. So, general rule for teleporter. General rule for all teleport blink type abilities. Don't blink in front of them. So you see right now, these two heroes are looking at you as this teleporter goes off. Which means when you come through, you now have two enemies who can immediately attack you. And they have the advantage of surprise, not you. Right? If you put it behind them, or beside them, or above them, those are all options that prevent them from having that surprise against you. But you're walking through suddenly trying to figure out targets, but like the Ana could just blown you up right away. Like she could have just grenaded right away right now, which she does. And now you're in trouble. She's trying to kill the teleporter, and she does. And now what? Now you should be dead. Well, you may live here. I think you might live here, right? Honestly, very lucky, because the Roadhog could shoot you right now. You could throw a trap here. But you see how ineffective the dive is? That's what I really want to highlight here, is teleporting in front of people is almost always the wrong call. Virtually every single hero in the game, with the advantage of surprise, can kill you. I'm like struggling to think, like even Mercy here, if I was a Mercy player, and let's ignore everything else, right? Nobody else on the map, if you put a teleporter here, no turrets. But if you teleport here, you teleport it through, and I had my pistol out, I'm going to kill you. I think there's almost no way that you could win. If you had charged right click, I think you have some chance to win. I don't even know that it's a guaranteed, because it's still going to take you almost 2 seconds to kill me with the beam. So I'm just noting here, it is not hard to kill somebody teleporting through in front of you. Like it just can't be a thing that you rely on if you want to win games consistently. You really should die. Like the Kiriko should just straight up kill you right away. Right? But all right, so you're like, okay, as soon as you jump through, you're like, okay, this is not going to work, and then you drop out. I think you realize, hopefully, you're like, this is not working. And it's funny because you're like, oh, the tank's not making space. The tank's doing fine. Right? The tank is fine. Like the tank's already in here. Like this is what the tank should be doing. I don't know why we're trying to force this teleporter so early. Roadhog comes onto you. Alright, you get zapped. You should have died right there. He should have just meleeed and you should have died. Again, this is a rank where people are going to make lots and lots of mechanical mistakes. We're not looking for a perfect play here. All the Roadhog had to do was hit melee and you die. Right? You're 20 health, melee does 30 damage. You should be dead right now. So any life after this is a gift. You should be dead right now as well because the Genji should just fire shurikens at you. He's clearly not looking. Like he sees you right now. He should have fired shurikens. If I see the Genji, I fire the shurikens to the right. Right? 1, 2, 3, almost guaranteed to hit you. And if any of those shurikens land, you die right now. Like, this is not a time where you should be trading attacks with the Genji. Quick note here, turrets here are a really bad spot because everyone can see them and destroy them instantly. If you're going to throw turrets, you can at least try to tuck them into the corner here to make it hard for him to see, because you actually do have access to that angle. Anyway, not the biggest deal. Okay, so this teleporter is at least behind them. But the thing is, do I live here? Right? Like, I'm in the midst of all these heroes. You kill the Kiriko, so like it works out, but she like whiffs everything on you. She also doesn't seem to recognize that the teleport is here. Yeah, she's busy healing. Right? She's hit you right now. She should Suzurei herself right now and just take the duel. I would like to point out that you're at a rank where people, instead of attacking you, are just attacking the teleporter. For no reason. Like, there's literally no reason to be attacking the teleporter right now. It's not even like you're low and you're going to use it to escape. So, as you you climb, people are going to make better decisions, and you're not going to be like, oh, look, gotcha, I teleported on you. You have no idea what to do. People at higher ranks are going to know what to do, and they're just going to straight kill you. So this works out. I think this is an okay dive. Of the dives you've done, I think this is the best of the dives. I would still rate it 5 out of 10. You're still all the way back here. You have 33 ammo. There is an Ana here. You could be beaming the Ana down. Right? You missed the right click, and you put the wall down. But what are we doing the wall for? Right? Your Sigma is in the left room, and you know this because you can see the Sigma through the wall. Your Sigma's in the left room. Your Mercy is obviously not in danger at all. Who else is in play here? Right? You got 2 people dead. You only have 1 person in the enemy team dead. So this is a 3-on-4 situation. You're horribly overextended. There is a Genji on you. There is an Ana on you, and you have no ammo. The wall doesn't help anybody right now. Right? Goes in towards Sigma. You're going to reload, so you're going to get back out, which is good. I think that's the right call to try to bail out of there. They're all trying to focus you down. Now your Mercy's dead. And then what now? And you might be thinking, okay, well, what was I supposed to do? But the thing is, don't use an ultimate just to use an ultimate. Is the ultimate going to actually help me win this fight? Because, again, I'm already down 1 hero right now. So this is a 4 and 5 situation. Flux just got popped, right? I teleport back here. I get this kill right now. Fine, good. So, Echo's still here, right? But Echo's dead, and Nano's popped, and Whole Hog is popped. I don't know that this wall is going to change the nature of this fight. It'd be one thing if the Roadhog was low, right? If Roadhog was low, right here, and then you had a teammate over here, and then you put the wall in between them. That might work, right? Because your teammate might kill the Roadhog before the Roadhog kills your teammate. But what I see here is I see a full health, nanoed Whole Hog Roadhog, and I see a Sigma who doesn't have any other help other than the Mercy, and I don't see any other heroes that can possibly do any damage. Like, with this wall, your team isn't even close to winning this fight. Right? Do you guys even get 1 kill here? Right? Mercy goes, that's a crazy res. To be fair, that's the only way that you could possibly win this, I guess, so. Right? Think about it. You popped a wall here, and your team didn't even get 1 kill. What was the point of the wall? It's not going to help you. Just save the wall for another scenario. Like, it literally gives you nothing. It gives you 0 value here to pop the wall right now. So I think that this is a good example of just, like, again, trying to save the wall for a better option. Like, sometimes you lose fights. Okay, save your ultimates, right? The ultimates are valuable resources. I'm sure you're probably going to be a little upset here that your Sigma did not touch the cart to stall it. To be fair, I think your Sigma's trying. Like, he's getting kind of wrecked here, right? I get it, but, like, if your Sigma stops this cart, it's not going to change anything. Like, you're still going to lose this fight. Like, you're going to die right now, and they're going to walk through, and they're going to kill the Yari, and they're going to kill your Sigma, and they're still going to cap it. So nothing actually changes by your Sigma dying on cart. Okay, so looking at this section of parity, so if I were a Symmetra, where am I going to be setting up? Well, as always, I want an off angle that I am safe and where I can apply good pressure to the opposing team. So what I'm looking for are these windows over here and these windows over here. Because again, if I just fire right clicks at them, it is super hard for them to deal with it because they have no cover. And then let's say they sit behind the cart to try to stay alive, then you can teleport bomb them and then they're going to die instantly. Like, that's good value here. So I'm looking to control these windows. Now, the great side effect of this is if I control these windows, their team doesn't control the windows, which means the only possible path they have is to go here. And if the enemy attacks from only one angle, they rarely win because it's very predictable what they end up doing. And your team isn't actually in any danger, you can keep your tank alive, etc., etc. So what I'm looking for is I want to get up into these upper windows, put turrets around to protect myself, right? At this point, I want this left window. Once it moves up, I want the right window. I want to be in the left window. I want a turrets over here to make sure the Genji doesn't dive me, and just keep right-clicking the Ana and the Kiriko as much as I can. This turret over here is not going to do anything. This is way too early. Like, the fight is going to happen over here. So this point gets a little tricky, but the short answer is typically you're going to have one fight over here, one fight over here, and then the last fight over here. And again, it's going to get tricky. Sometimes this can be 2 fights. Sometimes it can be 3 fights. It's going to vary a little bit. But you have plenty of time over here to try to force a fight right here. And again, using the windows up here to apply pressure is incredibly powerful in this situation. At high level play, all the fighting here happens in these windows. Everyone here, like the tank, leaves the cart completely and just runs up here to go challenge the windows. Because if you don't have the windows, your team is going to get murdered. Because whoever's up here has any DPS, projectile, hit scan, whatever, they're just going to kill anyone who's on the cart. So everyone just leaves the cart and just runs up here, or flies up here, dives up here, whatever they've got, to go fight for the windows. You need to be fighting for the windows right now. These turrets are never going to hit an enemy anytime in the next like 15 seconds. Right? This is just way too far back. And you had plenty of time to get up here and contest these windows. Right now, you're just playing with the rest of your team. You're not adding any extra damage pressure. There's no pressure being applied to the team from your presence. If I'm the Roadhog here, I don't care that you're there, right? That's a really good way of looking at gameplay is what I'm doing changing the way the enemy plays or punishing them for not paying attention to me. If I'm the Roadhog, I don't care. Like, what? I'm going to break the shield and I'm going to hook somebody and I'm going to kill you. You're not doing anything to me here, right? Now, the squishies, they're in danger to your right clicks, but you're so far back and they have good cover, even if I do hit one, they just hide behind the cart and they live. You have no ability to change this fight right now, playing from this position. Right? Again, you see your right click? Okay, great. You're hitting the Roadhog. Your Roadhog just completely ignoring you. And then he gets the hook. Why does he get the hook? Because you're all just standing in the open. This is inevitable. Right? This is what Roadhog does. But if I was playing up here, I could have been pressuring here. Or I could rotate here and pressure here. Or I could have been playing here and pressure from here. There's so many options that you could have used here with Teleporter that are not standing way far back and right-clicking. Before, you were too aggressive. You're diving in at bad times. Now, you're playing too passive. You're way too far back, and you have almost no impact right now. So, Genji's going to come in. Blade's popped. Right? Sigma kills Genji through Blade. Okay, great. Excellent. Huge play. So you're going to take the off angle here. I think this is okay. It's pretty dangerous, but it's not the worst possible decision here. Yeah, I think this is all right. Right? I think your team does a good job. Again, a huge part of this is the Echo didn't die on the pick. I think this chase is totally fine, right? Ana's like completely absorbed with trying to keep the Roadhog alive. You already saw a grenade go off. Your Echo is also over here. I think this is a very good teleport, right? This is like 10 out of 10, perfect teleport. This is great timing. Nothing they can do about it. Excellent, right? This is what you're looking for. You want to teleport in with a ton of pressure, where they don't have any options to deal with you. Great. That's what we want. I just beam him down right now. Yeah, don't worry about the right clicks. just beam him down. Great, excellent. So from here, what do? We don't want to go on the bridge. Bridge is where we get murdered, right? Playing out here, the turrets can't help me. It's gonna be hard for my team to help me here. Just go up to the windows. Again, Tracer can't deal with you up here. Only Genji can. If you have turrets, the Genji can't even kill you. It's good shape. This is suicide. So I'm gonna break down just how quickly you can die right now. So Genji happens to be reloading right now, but at this moment in time, if he throws 1, 2, 3 line shurikens, he is going to do 162 damage to you, followed by dash, instantly kills you in less than half a second. That's assuming the Tracer does 0 damage. Is this reliable? I mean, it's not impossible. Again, he knows exactly where you're going to be the moment you teleport through. Like, obviously, there's some guesswork here. You could wait for a second. But if you wait too long, the teleport will get destroyed, possibly after you go through it, and then you get no value here. Like, this is unbelievably dangerous right now for you to be doing. And, like, what do you accomplish here? Okay, you hit one right click that you could have hit anyway. These teleporters are giving you so little value. Right? Again, I would not worry about these turrets. Why? Who's going to walk through here? Think about it. Who's going to walk here first? It's the Roadhog. Roadhog's going to be like, oh, I'm being hit by turrets? Great. Okay, I'll shoot them and go back to doing whatever I was going to do. Like, it's not going to be a squishy that walks through here where 25 damage a second per turret is going to matter. It's going to be the Roadhog who's literally not going to care. So, like, these turrets seem so obvious. Like, oh, yes, we're going to shoot them as they all walk through. But what if they don't walk through? What if they take high ground? What if they go this way? What if they go this way? Then we lose. That's why it's so important for you to preemptively take other angles and control them for your team. Symmetra's so good at this. Like, that's one of the biggest things I want you to take away from here is you don't need to be doing this. Like, your team is not going to lose because they're going to 5-man walk through here, most likely, right? You're going to lose because you're going to give up one of the other angles, or you're going to get out-ulted, or somebody's going to get picked. So how do you prevent that? Get picks first. If I pick them off, they can't do anything. You can't get any picks from here. See? Genji's taking top left, which is exactly what he should be doing. That's what you should be challenging right now, is this space. And see, now the Genji is out here, and what does he do? He's looking for people to attack, right? Okay, Echo's there, fine, he dashes back. But that's like the space that you want to be challenging for right now. Alright, Roadhog fired hook. Okay, great. Oh man, did I just get deflected? I think that Capstone just got deflected. But, more importantly, okay, Pulse just got thrown at me. What do? Walk away from the Pulse. Is that what I do? I walk into the Pulse. So, looking at this in real time, Pulse takes a long time to go off. Like, that is a lot of time for you to have reacted to the Pulse Bomb and walked away from it. If she sticks you, obviously you're dead. But if she doesn't stick you, you shouldn't get killed by the Pulse. And a huge part of getting better is just having better reaction times to be able to move around this. I'm not going to dwell too much on this. I'm just noting you had plenty of time here to not die. And notice that you're getting killed first, right? And with you dead, I would never expect my team to win a fight where I die first. Right? I think that is the probably one of the best overall rules I can give all players who are trying to climb. If you die first, never expect your team to win the fight. Right? If my teammates die first, maybe I can turn it around. But if I die first, yeah, probably going to lose. Because I'm probably, right, if I'm climbing, then that means I'm better than all the other people on my team. Then if we've lost our best player, we're not going to win. So this is unfortunate. Quick note here is, this is a good example where if you do want to be using turrets, using them to stop the Tracer or the Genji is more valuable. These turrets shooting the Roadhog aren't doing very much. But if you put the turrets back here, they would do more to suppress the turret, the Tracer in this situation. I don't think this is a big deal. I'm just noting is like your job is not to stop the Roadhog, right? He's simply not your problem to deal with. All right, you're gonna get rezzed here. Kitsune's gonna get popped, and then you're gonna look for a wall here. Let's look at this wall. So first of all, we just killed Tracer, so it's a 5-on-4 situation. What does this wall do? Well, does it protect the Echo? It does not. Does it protect the Iari? It does not. Does it protect the Sigma? Maybe, but Sigma's not really killable anyway, right? Like, he doesn't really need the shield. Like, he's like full health. I presume he probably has cooldowns here, right? He's gonna have, you know, half health shield. He's got grasp. He's not in danger of dying. It protects you, but you're already behind the cart, so you don't really need the cover. So why do we have the shield? Like, what does this ultimate really help us with? Because who's vulnerable right now? The Echo and the Yuyari, right? Mercy obviously also not going to benefit from this. So this wall, if anything, should have been used like this way to try to protect the Yuyari. But it doesn't. And now we're all just sitting here. And notice that Yuyari just still sitting here. And you might think, okay, she should back up behind those shield, but like, she doesn't really need to necessarily, because she's like already has the cart for cover. This shield gives you almost no value again, right? And that's so important, is your ults are giving you like very, 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 very low value. And that's hurting you, because Simwall is easily one of the best ultimates in the game, right? Super, super strong. Like, you can often completely end a fight just by throwing wall down. The enemy team's like, well, I guess we're not going to do anything with this anymore. So strong. As a general rule for Simwall, I think Simwalls are typically better north-south, right? North-south as in north being the direction you're facing, versus west-east. The reason for this is, if we look at a north-south wall, right? If we scatter some enemies around this wall, okay? Okay, we got 5 enemies over here. It gives me the opportunity, as blue team, to go to one side or the other side, depending on what is going on, right? And any cover that's available, or cooldowns, or duel that I'm taking, or whatever it ends up being. It gives me the flexibility to play it all the way up and down on both ends. The problem with a west-east wall, is unless we have perfect positioning, all we can do is stand here and shoot them through it. Which seems like a great idea, except the way maps are designed is they can almost always just stand behind cover and wait the wall out. And we can't push through because the wall's not going to help us anymore. Hopefully that makes sense here, right? Is that west-east walls rarely, I wouldn't say rarely, I would say maybe like 2-to-1, 3-to-1. North-south walls are better than west-east walls, right? Because of just the lack of flexibility of west-east wall. West-east wall is drawing a line in the sand, like here, no further. Well, that's great if, for example, they're doing something where we really don't, where we just want to stay back. Like if they pop high noon, you're saving your team with a west-east wall. Yeah, great, obviously, huge, right? Diva bomb's gonna blow up everybody. West-east wall, great, excellent. But in dynamic fight situations, north-south walls tend to be a lot more helpful because they give your team more options. If you do like a north-south wall here, you could play on this side, and then when they all cross over to try to force this fight, you cross back over to the other side. This is called bubble dancing for tanks. It's incredibly powerful, and you could do it with a sim wall too. It's really, really hard to win on one-on-one with somebody who has the ability to cross between an impenetrable barrier at any moment in time. So, maybe that's one of the biggest tips to kind of take away from this. All right, so you teleport out here, Kiriko dies, that's good. Noting, what's kind of the deal right now? So Genji just used deflect. He's going into the room. The Roadhog is preoccupied. What should I be doing right now? Well, I'm with my cloned Echo. I hear / see the cloned Echo. I think a reasonable option is just to push this room. Like, yeah, you're in danger here, but like the Roadhog doesn't seem to actually be looking. So I think, especially with the Genji dashing in, I think I would just continue to go out here, right? If you got turret charges, you have one turret charge at least, you could throw a turret charge like over this door to prevent the Genji from diving you and just control this space right now, because the Roadhog's not looking back right now for you for sure, right? He's like 100% committed to whatever he's going to do, and just stay out here and then zone the Ana and the Genji from doing anything. But you teleport back, which is unfortunate, because now the Hog gets whole hogged, or pops whole hog and nano, and your team gets shredded. Note here is, remember I mentioned the wall wasn't very good, okay? What would have been a good wall? Well, Hog gets pulled in right now while whole hogged. Sigma gets pulled in right now while whole hog is active and nano, which means the Hog, which normally does 900 damage a second, is going to do 1,350 damage per second right now, which is going to obliterate anybody who is right next to him. Do I have a tool for that? I do. Just pop the sim wall right now. Right? Pop the sim wall right now, your Sigma lives. Now, the Hog will still destroy your sim wall. He's one of the few heroes in the game that can actually destroy a sim wall. He'll kill your sim wall in about 2.5, 3 seconds. But if the Sigma dies right now, I'm losing this fight no matter what. Okay? Really, really important to note is I have a tool that will deal with this. The wall will save my team right now by popping it. I can use it to counter whole hog and nano at minimum, the surprise factor of it. But you don't have it because you wasted it on the previous, the same fight, but a few seconds earlier. And again, it got you almost no value. So right now, this, right, if you popped it in time, would have saved your Sigma and possibly saved your Echo as well. And now you have no chance. Now there's no way you can win the fight, right? Like now, you're in trouble. Good job dodging the hook, but again, not a lot you can do here. Okay, so just noting, is this the time for us to be diving? This is a 5-on-5 situation. They already capped the point. Even if I kill the Ana, her spawn is right there, right? Very, very close. And I'm not going to kill the Ana because she's with her entire team. The odds of you killing the Ana are like 0. It doesn't matter if you're like a GM sim, you have no chance of killing this Ana right now. She just throws a grenade and she cannot die. Not to mention the fact that you can easily get slept here. So this is a really bad dive. You get slept, and then you get killed. So let's look at it from the Ana's perspective, right? And you're like, oh, this Ana's hitting nutty sleeps. Teleport? Doesn't look hard to me. Like, it's not that hard to hit somebody with sleep when you're this close to them, right? At this moment in time, you encompass so much of her screen right now, right? Think of this sideways. So, of the whole screen, this is roughly, your hitbox is, the sleep dart itself has a larger hitbox, but like, let's call this like 15%. But the reality is, at higher ranks, nobody's going to be aiming on the edge of the screen. Like, they're going to roughly center you, which means even at like low diamond level, they're only looking at maybe this much of how much they would miss you. At this point in time, you're now, I don't know, let's say 30% of the space. But once you start approaching high diamond, low masters, that box is going to look like this. At which point, you're now looking at well over 50% plus of the screen space right now that they're going to hit this, even with a flick to the side. And I think the reality is that the actual accuracy is going to be even higher than that. So you can't rely on the Ana missing this sleep dart. So as a general rule, don't expect people to miss abilities. Okay, that doesn't mean that everyone has an aimbot, but like this is a high value ability that this Ana has been practicing for probably literally hundreds of hours. You are extremely close to her. You telegraphed that it was coming with the teleporter. It's not like you dropped out of nowhere, right? And she's like reacting to that. This is not a particularly hard dart to hit. Even if you didn't hit this dart, she just grenades herself in you, and then you have to take the teleporter back through right away, and you accomplish nothing. This is all downside, no upside. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, this is the continual pattern over and over and over again, is the engagements you're taking are real bad. Okay. In the interest of time, because like nothing particularly interesting happens on the final point, let's jump over to offense. So we're coming through right now. Be a little careful about front lining. So you decide to take the off angle. Funny enough, I don't think this is a good time to take this off angle. This is probably one of the worst off angles in the game, because by design, it is a very long tunnel. Like this. And the problem here is if you get caught here, you die, because there's no way to get away. There's no cover, and like you can't easily retreat from here. So as soon as they realize that you're here, and they all look at you, you are dead. Now, you have some flexibility here with turrets, but like honestly, your team doesn't need you. Like, think about it. If I'm the tank right now, I don't need you to be pressuring the Ana from this alley. I just want you to go high ground, stand here, and just right-click her once. The second you right-click her, she'll be like, oh god, and then she grenades herself, and then she runs for cover. That's all you have to do here. But trying to play this off angle is very scary, right? So you're going to set up another teleport bomb. They're looking at you right now. So I think you wisely are like, okay, wait, this is a really bad idea. This is not great value here. Now, the good news is you're going to deal a lot of damage to the Moira. Not consistent, but like, you know, obviously we're hitting them. And then now your tank is dead. Unfortunate. So we just reset. Tanks die. Tanks make mistakes. There's no rank you'll ever get to where tanks will not make mistakes. Also, it might not be your tank. It could easily be your supports who like messed up there. I don't know. I don't think it's worth it to pay attention. But I'm just noting, the second I see this, I abort. Because I'm not going to do anything here. I'm not going to get any picks. And if I get picked here, I'm only continuing the stagger. Just chill, right? Play back. Stepping up here is incredibly dangerous. I feel like the most common phrase I use in this review is incredibly dangerous. You will get lasered down. And I just did a soldier gameplay guide. You could look, watch this. There's like almost no way you're going to survive here. Without teleporting out, there's almost no way that you can make it back to cover. To get back to cover, right, you have to walk backwards all the way to here and get around this corner. That's 4 seconds maybe, right, of runtime. If you turned and ran this way, it'll be about 3.5 because you'll be a little bit quicker. I think either way, the odds of me killing you are at least 70%. Right? You cannot do this right now. Oh, and the Ana's shooting at you. If the Ana hits one dart here, you die. You cannot do this. Like, this is reckless behavior. So she whiffs this one. Whiffs that one. Whiffs that one. Whiffs that one. Right? And the fourth one's too late. Unless you think, man, I'm going to hope that all the Anas I ever fight are going to go 0 for 3 on me when I'm jumping in the air, this is not the way that you win games, right? Keep it simple. Don't try to do anything fancy. Don't do any, like, it really does not require a lot to win games. All you got to do is be like, okay, where do I need to go right now? Just teleport up top, take this area, step up, right-click them. And they're all going to be like, oh god, there's a Symmetra up there. And they're either, if they have something to deal with you, they'll come up to fight you, in which case you can use turrets to kill them. If they don't, they're like, oh, let's just back up to the back of statue. Great. I just completely won the first fight by just standing up here. Remember, 2 fights here, right? One over there, second over here. If I just stand up here and right-click a support, they will all go back. I guarantee you they will all go backwards right away. It's that easy sometimes, right? And half of the fighting on first point will have been won, and I didn't have to kill a single person. I think this off angle is actually fine. It's a nice dodge of the rock. I would note that you do have an option here to simply just use the pillar. So the second that he starts this, you just stand here, you can dodge this, and then you can continue beaming people down, which will do a lot of damage. I do never run in a straight line like that. That is how you die. Alright, you take a bunch of damage. So you're looking for another teleport dom. Okay, I think this is okay timing, right? They're definitely not prepared, and it's at an angle where they didn't all see you. But the Genji's right here, so you can die instantly right now. Like, the Genji sees it. You 100%. I guarantee you this Genji whiffs on you. Right? Hits one there. Hits only one there, and neither one of them are headshot level. Then he shoots the teleporter when he could just shot you in the head, and then just, like, if he does one left click instead of right click, you just die, right? One left click, and then, oh, he doesn't have dash. But, yeah, I mean, you're taking, like, monstrous risks here constantly. So, we're gonna come back. As a note, I can do literally nothing here of value, right? I can charge my beam on the shield, but then what? I can't step up here to attack anybody because I get melted. There's no way I can play here as Sim. It's way too dangerous. So, again, if I play top here, I can just right-click them, and then I teleport to here, and then I right-click them, and I win the fight. Because what are they going to do about it? Genji's like, oh, I'll come up and fight you. I have turrets here. He can't fight me, right? Not with the turrets, right? Or I can use a teleport to go backwards if I'm actually in danger. And then from there, they're going to be like, oh god, there's a Symmetra shooting us from behind. What are they going to do? They're going to back up to here. Great. Then I just move all the way over here, and then I shoot their supports who are standing down here. And what are they going to do? Again, they have nobody to challenge me except for Genji. You can just use the turrets to keep yourself alive. Fight is won. Like, you're making your life so hard by trying to take these, like, really difficult, like, frontline fights right now where they have a ton of options to kill you very, very quickly. Alright. So, great grenade in by your Ana. You teleport in. I think this is good timing right now. Again, like, you saw the grenade off. You have the opportunity. Right? Soldier's trying to fight you. Teleport back. I think this is fine. Yep. I think this is good. Right? This is good timing here because you're taking advantage of opportunities that have presented themselves. You're not the one trying to force the issue yourself. You're not a space-creating hero, right? You can control space, you can defend space, but you can't create space against the team. That's just not your toolkit. Okay, so how far is the cart? Pretty far. So they are probably going to have another fight here. So I'm looking for, hey, how can I possibly defend this? Well, I don't actually know if turrets here can be tucked in enough, but you got some options right now. You could maybe tuck them in over here. You could tuck them against the door frames, right? Put them on the ground maybe, like over here. That's an option, but I'm just kind of getting ready here to just beam down. I don't think I need to do anything fancy here. You could also go high ground if you want to, but I don't think you need to. I would just sit behind the cart and just start getting ready to charge beam, because whoever contests this, I'm just going to beam them down, and what are they going to do about it? But 100% I do not do this. This is the worst possible plan right now, because if you get picked, that is the only way you can lose this fight. Think about it. If I play back here, right, charging right clicks, cart walks up, and then when I'm on the cart is right here, and then I stand here behind the cart, what can they possibly do to not die here? If the Sigma walks up, I shred him because I'm going to have 180 damage a second. If the Genji walks up, I shred him because he can't deflect me. The Soldier, same deal. Moira, same deal. Ana, same deal. Nobody here can stop me, like me, Symmetra, alone, from capping this point right now if I just stand behind the cart. It's literally impossible for them to do anything about it. But if you die right now, your win condition goes away, right? Then you have to leave it up to your teammates to win the fight. You're taking a lot of risks right now for no reason. So I think this wall is good, right? I think this wall is good, right? Again, you're locking out the nanoed soldier, great, right? You kill the Sigma. This is pretty much what would happen if you just sat behind the cart, right? Beam the Genji, great, and we're gonna win. See, it's so strong when you can go back and forth between the wall, right? When they're like, oh, I'm gonna go this side to fight you. Oh, you go the other side. Oh, well, now we're screwed. Right? Great, excellent. Kill the Moira, and then we're good. Okay, so. We're going here. This is incredibly dangerous. You should have been hitting the scoreboard right away to see who got forward spawn. So if I see 3 heroes alive right now, when it capped, right, because right now it's still 0.12 meters from capping. So from the moment when it caps right now, I would see in the scoreboard there are 3 people alive, which means there are 3 people here, and if they don't use the reset to rear spawn, they're going to be coming out, which means I cannot chase this Ana for free. This is extremely dangerous, and you're going to die for it. Look at the scoreboard. Gotta look at the scoreboard. You gotta be aware. You're just diving in at times, like, without, like, good timing for them at all. Alright, so. What are we thinking right now? Again, I don't want to really go in main. I can go up here. I can take this space. I can go over here. I can right-click an Ana. I can also potentially go this way, but I think mostly I can just go up here, right-click the Ana, right-click an Ana in this way. That in alone will win the fight. I don't want to be here. This is terrible. This is how I die. right? If anyone aims at me, I die, or it gets you to flex my teammates' attacks. So you have a lot of time to react to this. You can see and hear the field, just walk to the right. But you walk back into it and you get lifted here. And then you're going to die. And these might all feel like, oh, one-off, like I just happened to die here, but this happens all the time. like every one of your deaths, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what you're doing here. Like, it seems very obvious that, oh, this is actually a very pretty painting. It seems very obvious here that you should not have put yourself in this position that you are in right now. It was so easy to not die to this. Like, you hear the audio, like, Tracer Pulse Bomb, at least, like, you have 1 second to react. I get it. Flux, you have, like, 2+ seconds to react to this, right? 1, 2, almost 3 seconds to react to that lift. And you walked into it, and you saw it on your screen too. It's not even like you backed into it not realizing it. Like, you saw it on your screen the whole time. Yeah, that's super rough. And again, you get picked, which means you're going to waste even more time off the clock. Okay. I think it's going to end up being a 2-parter, so I will break and then do a second one later. All right, part 2, because apparently I can't make videos under an hour these days. Okay, we're continuing to try to assault here. Right, your Ramacha's super low. Looking for a teleport. This is once again a very bad idea. There are 3 heroes that are looking at you right away. I think you can get... yeah. I see, I didn't remember exactly what happens here, but it's like so obvious. Like, the moment you go in, like, you teleport in. There are 3 heroes looking at you right now. Like, you should expect to die. Literally, like, your lifespan here... Like, let's imagine you don't get slept, okay? How long do you think you can stay here and not die? 1 second, maybe? That's not enough time for you to kill anybody. Like, what is even the point of the teleport dive? What I would do in this situation is I just build charge off the shield and then just start mowing down their front line along with your Ramacha, right? Clearly, they're all focusing your Ramacha. Your Ramacha is doing something. People are like, oh, my tank gets melted, I die. How do I make space? Well, when your tank's getting shot at, that's still space, right? Because it's something, they're shooting at them, they're not shooting at you. So you can use this corner, build charge in the shield, Sigma's going to lower it, go up, force the Genji dash back, go up for the Sigma, kill the Sigma, and then you're good. Sigma can't escape. There's no way that the Sigma can escape from you. As long as the Ramacha tanks the damage, you're totally safe here, and you can easily roll over their tank. This dive is straight up suicidal, and it's once again going to cost you like another 20 seconds off the clock. Alright, coming out again. Poke, I would... See, this is a good example where, like, you just don't really respect the enemy's aim. So over here, it is relatively unlikely that you're going to get shot because there's heroes in front, but I'm just noting that the Cassidy could theoretically 2-tap you with headshots. You know, in low diamond, is it likely to happen? It's not, but as you go the higher and higher ranks, it's going to be more and more common. And the way to avoid that is not, oh, obviously, like, you know, if he's got an aimbot, you're going to die no matter what. But if you stay near a corner, if he taps you in the head, just take cover, get healed, and then we do it again. He's not always going to be headshotting you, but just noting to instinctively play near cover more will dramatically increase your survival rate, like hugely increase your survival rate. And that's something you need to instinctively be doing as you climb through Diamond. All right. So, right, I think a Pokemon out, that's good. All right, so Echo traded out, good, right? That's fine. Trades are good when you have short spawn. I would note this is not the time to be pushing up because of the way the position of the shield. I can't stand here because nobody's going to shoot the Ramacha with the shield up. Ramacha shield is 1,000 health. Nobody shoots Ramacha shields. So if you're going to do this, you need to immediately cross over to this side and start burning the shield down. The problem is by the time you get here, the shield's going to be nearly down. So I think you just resume corner peeking with the right clicks and not try to do this. I think this is very dangerous. You should have been dead right there. All right, now Ramacha's pushing up. Now we go. Yep, good. This, by the way, would have been a really great opportunity to teleport. I don't have a great feel for exactly how far teleport goes, but if teleport can get you to the window here, this would be so strong, right? You can teleport. If you teleport here, you instantly win the fight, right? From here, again, you just start right-clicking people, or even beam them without paying attention to you, and they all die. So this is like kind of that moment where you could be doing that. As a note here, you could also, like if you had time, like while things, like let's say your tank died and you had time to rotate, you could rotate over here and then use this side to teleport to here. I don't know if you can reach the windows, but you can teleport over here and then sneak over this way and then take the windows from that side if they're like hardcore focused on main and you don't have a space. So yep, yeah, see, great. So you teleport up here, looks good, right? I would be careful re-peeking the same window over and over again. But yeah, just slow down. Honestly, you can just burn the Sigma right now. Because the Sigma is clearly, like, they're all backing up right now from the damage pressure that you put. See? Everybody in that team, this is exactly what we want. They're all looking at you right now, which means the Sigma is now vulnerable. So as they start backing up here, right, let them go. Moira fades back, or this way, because she's concerned, and now the Sigma's vulnerable. So you can start right-clicking the Sigma in the back to just confirm the kill. See how the enemy over here used to be here, and now they've got all the way around the corner, which abandons the Sigma here. So the vulnerable one now is actually the tank. And recognizing when it is the correct time to shoot the tank is a really, really good instinct to have. You can hear the Moira, yep, you put the turrets down defensively. I think that was probably a little excessive, but that's fine. For the record, against Moira, you should be able to straight up just hold left click. Like, you don't need a turret to win. Like, if you just hold left click against her, you'll kill her. You do so much more damage than she does. It's not even close. She does 50 damage a second. Your base damage does 60. And granted, she heals for, I think, 24 health a second, but it's not going to be enough to overwhelm, like, your damage output on her. As long as your tracking is even close to the same general accuracy as hers, you're going to kill her. It's, like, not even... Like, you don't feel like you have to have turrets to win the fight against Moira. Alright, you pick up the Moira. So you teleport over here. I think this is good, right? You're trying to follow in the aggression of your Ramatra. It's good. Okay, he dies. That's fine. Finish up the Cassidy. Good. Splashing his feet would have made that easier, by the way. Genji's on top of you. You die. This is okay, right? I think this is still fine. You picked up the Moira here, right? You're trying to follow up. You're following the Ramatra in. He really should have been blocking right now. You kill the Cassidy here as well, and then you die to Genji. Honestly, this is fine, right? You killed 2 here, and that's okay. And before, I mean, I don't know if you are going to get upset about this or not, but you might be upset like, oh, how did I kill 2 without ultimate and we still lost? Well, I would note, think about all the fights that you died first, right? Like, you made so many mistakes that just because you make one good fight doesn't mean that you deserve to win. Like, sometimes the other team makes plays too, right? Sigma, for example, kills 2. I also would note is that you actually have the opportunity to save your Ramatra right now. No. Never mind. You just barely don't get ultimate. But if you're slightly better at farming ultimate, then you would have had it by now. But either way, it's not that big a deal. 2 minutes left. Coming out again. Yep. Shield's broken. I don't know why you're going back. Yeah, I think this is a good time to start pushing, right? I would really be looking for the teleport to the window, right? That was super... Okay. So the teleport to window was incredibly strong the last time you did this, right? When you teleported here, you instantly won that fight by pushing the rest of the team back. I would also note is that if you were better at the window of right-clicking the Sigma would have died and never been able to flux, which ended up leading to multiple kills. That's A. B, this goes back to north-south shields are better than west-east shields, as a general rule. Because this shield's here, which is great, your team is all safe. But the problem is their team's not targeting you anyway. Their team's targeting your tank. So your tank's going to get left out here while purple and get burned down. And you can't go anywhere here. Like, you can't pressure their backline versus if you ran the shield, let's say, where are you right now, right? If you ran the shield, let's say this way, then you have a ton of options because your tank could simply go over here, right? And then you could follow down this line. Oh, they're attacking this side, and then go to the other side and then zigzag back and forth, continuing to apply pressure on the opposing team. I think that north-south shields ultimates are as a general rule like just way better north-south walls. But it's what it is. We pop it, right? Nano Blade gets popped here. So I think that you should be teleporting out of here. Oh my god, I can't believe you don't die here. How do you not die to this? The Genji should have instantly killed you. He must miss here. Right? How did you not die? Does he not get the slash off? I truly have no idea how you did not die right now. My best guess is that he only dashed you? But in that case, how did you take all the extra damage? Because the only thing doing damage to you is the Genji Blade. You took 50 damage? I do not understand how you did not die right now. Right? Because slash dash should kill you right now. So, That was the only hit. You only took 70 damage. Oh yeah, it must be dash, right? Because dash does 50 damage after nano does 75. So my best guess here is that he only hits you with the dash and not the slash, and that's why you don't die. Then you don't die to the slash now because you got the heal from the Life Weaver, so you're just barely gonna live. So you should have died right here. As soon as you saw Genji popping Nano Blade right now, right? So he's gonna go up. Okay, he dashes right now, immediately pop teleporter and leave. Just to avoid getting chained out here, right? Pop teleporter, leave, charge right click, right? And then maybe think to go back in when he goes on somebody else to try to blow him up, and then teleport back out. Teleport also gives your team, you're on an opportunity to survive as well. But I think just sitting here and ignoring the blade is suicidal. I have no idea. Like this Genji should have just straight up killed you, right? They one shots you at 200 health. But you're going to survive. Somehow this Genji messes up and Nano Blade has killed nobody. Finally kills the Ana. Genji dashes through. Genji dies. Alright, we get killed by it. Fine. Okay, this is still fine. I know this is demoralizing when it happens to you, but they fired off 1, 2, 3, 4 ultimates here. Okay. Yeah, right, that's fine, right? We used tree, we used wall, fine. We have 2 more ultimates coming back. Like we have nano and we have copy here. Next fight should be an easy win. Right? Don't get demoralized. Just you're totally fine here, right? Next fight should be you're very, very strongly favored to win this fight. You have 2 ultimates against 0. So the most important thing here is don't get picked. If you get picked here, that's massive because that's going to delay another fight. We're just going to give the Sigma flux. That would have been a good time to zap the Sigma, but I think teleporting here is still fine. Right? Good? Yep. Life Weaver came with you for some reason, but okay, so you know Life Weaver came with you. Okay, great, that's fine. This is good. Like, this is actually honestly good. Just stay up here, because now Life Weaver gives you sustain. Stay up here and kill the whole team. As we mentioned, like, if you're up here, like, what the heck are they going to do? The Moira has to go back, the Genji has to go back, the Ana has to go back, the Cassidy has to go back. And when they go back, go to the next window and do the same thing to them again. And when they retreat again, go this side and do it, and then go this side and do it. And just continue applying a ton of pressure from the high ground here. And with the Life Weaver and turrets, the only person who can challenge you is the Genji. He has 0 chance of killing you and the Life Weaver. This is like basically a one fight from here, even without ultimates. But you drop right now, and I don't know why you dropped. It looks like an intentional drop to me. Right? Like, you jump off backwards, which makes me think that this was intentional. I have no idea what you're thinking right now. Because if the Cassidy turns, he just instantly kills you. Like, he can kill you so fast right now with just a regular right click. He can kill you right now because of how close you are. But you're going to put turrets here. You're trying to cut them off, but as a note, there are 2 heroes here. You can hear that there's at least 2, if not 3 heroes here. What is your plan on killing 2 or 3 heroes? Also, this Cassidy doesn't get healed, but like usually he will get healed here. Now you're going to fight 3 heroes at once. What's the game plan? Like, if I'm the opposing team, I'm like, why is the Symmetra alone? And I walk in and I fight you. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's turrets here? Okay, fine, whatever. I have 2 supports here to pocket me, right? Or if I'm the Ana or the Moira, I have, you know, the Ana to pocket me. The Moira alone could just throw Heal Orb and just walk through and, like, fight you, and it'd be fine. That's right? So, like, you just get picked here for what reason? Like, this stuff is killing you, right? Over and over again. Like, this fight has to be a win. Your team has 2 ultimates. Your team has control of like, high ground here. Okay, the Ana's locked off for whatever reason, but that's fine. Like, this team gets forced back. You guys collapse on the Sigma, kill the Sigma. Sigma's gonna die here, right? There's no way that Sigma could live. Then you get the payload moving, and it's fine. And over here, you pop all your ultimates, you win. But you dying right now is throwing the game. There's no reason for you to be in this position right now. And yeah, that's super, super bad. Now, Echo frags out. Great. Echo kills 2, right? So not even related to you. Echo still managed to win the fight. Moira is a fool. Okay, we'll take it. So we're moving up here. Be careful. Sigma can kill you if you're not careful. Alright, so let's think. How do we want to set up for this fight? Well, ideally, you know, in a perfect world, we get here. There's no way you're going to get here, right? This fight is going to happen mostly in this area. So ideally, you can control these arches over here, and you have this close range ability to close the distance. The problem is you can get isolated from your team. So I think playing here is fine. I think playing here is fine as well, and just constantly right-clicking until the fight becomes committed, and then you can think about beaming or diving right now. So, I think you're taking way too much... Yeah. Right? You're taking way too much damage right now. It's not even like you're not being healed. Like, you're being healed right now, and you're still dying through it. Look at it from the Cassidy's perspective. Like, you're just running in a straight line. Watch, 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 okay? So right here, you're gonna come out from the right arch. Okay? So he's shooting the echo, and you're like, okay, you're running a straight line, you're jumping now, which makes you even easier to hit. You're still running a straight line, and he kills you. You're moving effectively like a bot. Like, there's literally no dodging here. You're crossing an open space right to left of, like, what is this, like 10 meters of space, wide open, with everyone looking at you and their crosshair already aimed in your direction. Even though it wasn't at you initially, you're walking in front of his crosshair for a kill. And even if the Cassie didn't kill you, like, the Genji could have killed you, the Sigma could have killed you, the Ana could have killed you, right? Like, it's so easy to kill you here. And you need to really get used to, like, how fast you can die when people can aim. Because this is, like completely unacceptable at higher ranks. There's no world where you would ever survive here at higher ranks. Like, 100% of the time you die right now. Especially since you're already low. Like, you're not even at full health. At full health, you're not even going to cross here. If you're going to do anything here, you need to back up, play this side, go over here, get the Mega, right? And then, jiggle peek here with your right clicks. But trying to just cross sideways like this is completely throwing the game away. Any chance your team had to win just went completely downhill as you died. So going back to, like, the comments that you had, there's no point watching Rats, right? Because you're obviously dead. Going back to, like, the comments, you're like, oh, your tank's not making space. I mean, could your tank be pushed up more? Yeah, I mean, your tank definitely could be pushed up more here. But this is not, like, the worst tank position in the world. It's not like he's all the way over here suiciding. He's just playing slower than maybe another tank would. But you have to play around that, because you're never going to, you can't, you have to play with the team you got, right? Like, this is the team you start the game with, this is the team you're going to end the game with. If your tank's being conservative, play conservatively around that. Don't try to suddenly be a tank by frontlining and try to, quote-unquote, like, create space, because you can't do it. Like, you just don't have the kit for it. You can't be up here trying to fight, 3-4 heroes, or, like, when back over here. Like, think about it. This is crazy. This is, like, completely suicidal to be trying to fight all 3 heroes right now. And it's not even like your tank's not applying pressure. He is applying pressure, and you still die. This stuff is killing you. Because I think, honestly, I think you have a lot of the right fundamentals and the general ideas of, like, what you need to be doing, but you're like pushing too hard trying to get results, and it's not working for you. So if we had to re-summarize, right, I would say, number 1, don't teleport in front of the enemy team. Like, as a general rule, if someone is looking at the spot that you're teleporting to, don't do it. It might work some of the time. It might have worked to get you to this point in your ranked career, but I'm telling you, if you teleport in front of any hero at higher ranks, they're just going to kill you. Like, it's really not hard at all to kill someone who teleports in front of you. With relatively few exceptions, like, they'll just murder you. Unless you have some other, like, if they're already low, great, right? If they're not looking at you, great. If you are able to teleport on them and they know mobility, yeah, that's fine, we can take that. But don't teleport in front of, like, 3 heroes who are just looking at you, waiting for you to come out of the teleporter to, like, blow you up right away. Don't expect people to miss sleep darts. Don't expect people to miss grenades, right? Don't expect people to miss, like, Helix Rocket, right? There's just, like, all these things. Don't expect Cassidy's to miss Magnetic Grenade. You have to play around the fact that they're going to probably land them and still not die from them, or dodge it with Teleporter. So number 1, for sure, be super careful about your teleports. Number 2, your Symmetra walls are a problem. I think most of your Symmetra walls give you little to no value, and often that's because they are west-east walls instead of north-south walls. But sometimes you just straight up don't need the wall. Like, the wall's not going to change the outcome of the fight at all. So remember that early wall that we did where you guys on first point, right? That one happened over here where you popped the wall and you guys didn't win the fight. In fact, you didn't even get one additional kill with an ultimate, which is really, really, really bad value. So you were even close to winning that fight despite using your ultimate. So 2 is the walls. And number 3 is you got to cut the deaths down. You're just dying, like, trying to force really bad fights. Obviously, that has a lot of it's related to teleport usage, but also, like, just taking weird fights that don't make any sense. Outnumbered fights, just bad situations, not expecting people to land abilities, walking across outside in the open. It's all rough. Number 4 to add on, which is also really important, is take space, especially high ground, with teleporters that they cannot contest or can't safely contest and take away from you. Again, for understanding the maps, like where the areas are strong, if I had given you a tip ahead of time, if I'm like, look, like, let's say I had not seen this game, and you're like, hey, what's the tip that you would have for playing Rialto? I would say take high ground over here on first point, take high ground over here on second point. Third point's going to be awful. Like, there's no good way to take third point, just like most maps. But for first point, second point, take the high ground as Symmetra and deny it from the enemy team, and just constantly rain down right clicks on them. And that itself will win you games, like for sure, like up until Masters easily. Just because, like, what are they going to do about it if they don't have a high ground, like, capable team, which they don't have in these games? Like, they don't have enough. If they have a Winston, if they have a Doomfist, different story. They can definitely dive you and kill you. But one Genji is not going to be able to stop you as Symmetra, especially when you have a support that comes with you. All right, I'm going to wrap there. I'm going to put the two parts together. Hopefully this was helpful.